we'll get right into it. Look, we're excited about this product. You're probably seeing on the first page here where it says Express closed in seconds. We term that as Express CES, kind of has a good ring to it there. And I want to briefly describe what that's all about. And the goal here is to originate second mortgages. We'll cover a little bit of the statistics around why you want to go the close in second route. But the goal here is for us to take that time, that expense of closing in seconds away from you so that you can do what you best, which is going out and getting that purchase money first or refinancing the first mortgage where it makes sense. A couple people I want to introduce you to, and then we'll get, as I said, a why closed in seconds. With me today, I have Steve Peters, and he will be running some of the aspects from a technology perspective, the changes that we have made to Blueprint to make this an easier process for you up front. And then David Koop, who has thousands of second mortgages experience. He runs the processing and operations group for us that will be customer facing for this while we keep you front and center. So I'll turn it over to you, Dave, to tell a little bit about yourself.
Yeah. So thanks, Tony. Appreciate it. Thanks for the opportunity to be able to get on here today and talk about, the greatness of second mortgages. So a little background on me. I've been with the company now for going on my 16th year. I am the vice president of operations. And like I said earlier, super excited to kick this off with all of you and, get this going. So to level set on the amount of second mortgage business that we've been doing to date, I want to kind of just read off some historical numbers here. So we started our second mortgage product in 2023. We quickly went from 754 units closed in 23 to a robust 8,000 in 2024. Then we followed up with 11,000 in 25, and in 2026 here through Q1, we're sitting right at about 2,000. So, we've got 22,000, 23,000 units of experience here, and excited to start our journey with all of you folks. So appreciate it again, Tony. Thanks for the opportunity to articulate our business here.
And then Koop's group, again, I want to make this clear. He will be managing a group that is broker facing only,
That's right.
keeping you, our client, and your name in front of that borrower as we proceed. Our goal is for you to take the application, submit the loan, and then not worry about it. Next thing you know, the loan's closing and you're getting your origination paycheck. Again, giving you more time to do what you do best, and that's dealing with purchase mortgage loans as well as taking care of your clients that you've done over the years, staying in front of them. And we'll talk more about that in a second. But I'm going
Yeah,
to go over
Tony.
to Steve.
Tony, I'll jump in real fast again. Yeah, I mean, just to kind of add on to that, we've built a dedicated operations team that's their sole focus is, executing these loans on your behalf, proficiently, professionally, efficiently, and always with your brand front and center.
And then we're going to go over to Steve Peters. Steve's really playing a huge role for the channel here from a technology perspective as we work diligently to keep improving our LOS and our processes moving forward.
Yeah, thanks, Tony. Steve Peters. I've been here, it'll be 15 years in just about a month. I've worked in many different roles in the company here. Started in wholesale, moved around, learned a lot of other things about the company as a whole and a lot of the services we provide. And now I'm very proud to be back in wholesale. I currently run the brigade team, which many of you may have engaged with a number of times. And in addition, like Tony mentioned, I'm also leading the charge in a lot of the improvements in Blueprint and bringing additional technology into the wholesale channel.
All right, so here we'll go ahead and move forward. Why seconds? Why do seconds matter? And why should you be excited about doing second mortgages? First of all, what's not listed on here, it gives you the opportunity as a mortgage broker to stay in front of your client. Why let your borrower go to a bank or credit union? You may not get them back. You send them over to the bank and credit union for a second mortgage. They will be soliciting your client to refinance that first and second when it makes sense. There's a record high equity out there, roughly 17.8 trillion, which is 48 million mortgage holders out there with equity available for seconds to help out their situation. We've often talked about record household debt out there. The best part about a closed-end second, even versus a HELOC, borrowers want to put themselves in a better situation. They want set payments. They want to pay down their debt. They want to renovate their home, to help your customer out, stay in front of them, retain them so you can come back at a later date, refinance that first and second, and have a borrower for life. You help them out twice instead of just once. Go ahead and go to the next slide for me, please. Now we're going to talk about our portfolio, not only Newrez portfolio, but the wholesale originated portfolio. There's $16 billion of loans of borrowers that you've trusted us with that have equity in their house. That's more than 1 in 4 wholesale borrowers that qualify for a closed-end second as of today. That's an average of $228,000 to help consolidate debt, help put a child through or a kid through college, or help with the renovation of their house. And again, a closed-end second where they can improve their situation and pay it off over a fixed period of time. We covered this. Again, debt consolidation being the big one. This is not getting a whole lot better out there from a household perspective. It doesn't make sense in many cases for them to refinance the first and the second. As of today, help your borrowers come back at a time when the market is better, where you can tie those first and second together and save them even more money in a later period of time. People need cash for self-employed reasons, and of course, as mentioned, renovations and upgrade to their home. I want to remind everybody, we made some significant changes to our underwriting guidelines just a little over a month ago. Now, investment properties are eligible. When we first rolled out closed-end seconds, that wasn't an option. It is now an option. We took the max loan amount up to $500,000. By the way, for those that think closed-end seconds are always small, our average loan size on all fundings year to date, before we even started this wonderful process, $179,000. Now, we do think that we're going to be able to bring that down as we make it easier for our clients to want to do second mortgages. Again, you submit the loan to us, we take it from there, we keep your name front and center. We raise the amount that of AVM, no appraisal, that you can use the AVM, and it's self-serving within our portal from $250,000 to $350,000. You can now do loan amounts up to $350,000 with an automated evaluation process built into our system. We allow finance property up to 10, available in 47 states. We're still working on the other 3. They have some more unusual rules or laws in those states. We'll continue to look for ways to make second mortgages. And then we've made huge, significant improvements to Blueprint to better show you the HPML and QM compliance guides up front with an automated AVM. We're going to keep working on improving that. And as a side note here, as we went through to build this process for seconds, this is going to give an avenue to improve the system further on the first mortgages as we move forward in the next couple of months. One thing I left out that I want to make sure, this is going to be new. This is also big. But as of today, you can now pull on that second mortgage the credit report up front in our system. There is no cost to you, the client. So huge announcement there today to go along with the second mortgage process. All right, Steve, I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to you.
All right, great. Thanks, Tony. So everyone, what we've really looked to do here, as stated on the side, we wanted to make an easy way for you to get closed-end second business to bring that added value to your borrower without you having to be in this process from beginning to end. So to start with, we really worked to streamline this experience. Tony mentioned some of the changes that we made in our Blueprint system. You will see those momentarily. We were able to create a very streamlined, easy process, one step to the next, follow each of these steps, and your loan will be ready to submit into underwriting. Additionally, we have the fixed rate and payment options available here. So compared to other products out there where you may be based on a floating rate and you have to, you have a payment that can go up and down, your borrower is going to have the confidence to know that if they're choosing to pay off debt, this is their monthly savings and they can move forward towards achieving those goals. One of the most exciting parts here is, you've heard about the fact that we'll have the Newrez managed processing. So this is a dedicated team with tons of experience and a strong customer focus to be able to handle the processing, underwriting, and closing of this loan. This is a team that really knows what they're doing, and I think that your borrowers are really going to benefit from engaging with them. Down to some of the exciting things here, as Tony mentioned, we're going to have that no-cost soft credit pull. So at the time of the application, once a product is assigned, we will automatically pull in that single soft credit report, and that's going to import liabilities, credit score, and get that file moving along for you. As a note, we want to pull the tri-merge, which we would ultimately need, as early as possible in the process. We want to avoid any surprises coming up along the way. So as soon as that loan is submitted into underwriting, our registration team is going to pull the tri-merge report, and that will be included for the underwriter to review at initial underwrite. The AVM will automatically pull again at the time that product is assigned. So as soon as you have assigned a product and start working in this loan, you'll know, do you have that value back with the confidence score needed to go ahead and proceed? Or in the cases where maybe we need to get a drive-by or the loan amount is over the allowable, it will also give you flags and tell you the appropriate products to select in those cases. As we mentioned, we want you to be able to feel that this process is moving forward smoothly without you being involved, but we also want to make sure that you do know about the important stuff. So we'll talk about some of the notifications that we've set up here, but really looking to make sure that you know about the milestones and what's important to you, but not having to babysit the day-to-day as this loan is moving through on its way to closing. All right, next slide. All right, so yeah, some touch on communication here. And Coop, if you'd like to talk about the borrower communication, I know you're an expert in that.
Yeah, thanks, Steve. So a little bit of how the manufacturing line will go. The loan will be submitted, it'll be underwritten, and as I mentioned earlier, it'll then be assigned to our dedicated operations team. So here's how we begin. Every loan starts off with a welcome call, and that's where we're going to clearly establish the borrower relationship while intentionally showcasing the broker as the trusted originator. The borrower is going to know exactly who the broker is and why they're working with them. We simply become the execution arm behind the scenes. And then from there, we're going to leverage all of our communications channels, email, text, and phone to establish a consistent line of communication, eliminate any confusion or guesswork for the borrower. Our goal is a proactive outreach, not reactive follow-ups. And then at the same time, we're also going to lean into our technology, and Steve talked about it a little bit earlier, to keep borrowers fully informed throughout the process. They're going to have clear visibility into loan status, and they're going to receive timely updates while we can securely upload documents, while they can securely upload documents digitally through our portal. And that'll reduce friction and accelerate a pathway to closing, which we all know is paramount to all of us. In the end, the results, we simply believe it's going to be a smoother experience for the borrower, lower operational burden for the broker, and a level of professionalism that's going to drive utmost confidence, repeat business, and referrals.
Excellent. That's great stuff, Coop. I think these borrowers are really going to have a great experience through that. And as Dave's team is working with your borrower, as I mentioned, you will be kept in the loop on the important milestones as this loan moves through. So much like you receive loan status notifications on your first liens today, we have gone through and identified 5 items that we would like to make sure are still coming over to you on each of these loans. You'll receive a notification when your loan is approved. If an appraisal order is required, you'll get notification once that appraisal is received. Then if there are any locked updates along the way or changes to the loan, you'll be kept in the loop on that, along with once that loan reaches clear to close and then funds. So we'll keep you up to date on the important moments as that loan is moving through. And then any time that you want to be able to check status on this loan, that's also very easy for you too. Blueprint will remain available for these loans, and it will update along with any changes that occur internally on that loan. So you'll be able to log into Blueprint, check on that current loan stage, see where your loan is in processing, what conditions have been cleared, what might still be outstanding. You'll be able to review the assigned contacts internally here for you, and then see any next steps. So really just, while we don't want you to have to be involved, that visibility is there. If your borrower calls and says, hey, they added this condition, you'll be able to go in and see what is that condition there, but also know with confidence that loan is moving smoothly through the process over here.
Steve, can I jump back in and
Please do.
Yeah, I want to go back over, the fourth bullet in my discussion point. I want to highlight a little bit more is the closing coordination piece. So we handle all of that, from starting off with a very lengthy closing call with the borrower where we're going to go over everything, next steps, what we're paying off, if we are paying off anything through the transaction, set up the time, work directly with the title company, handle all of that. And that closing call could be anywhere from 15 to 30 minutes, so that when we end that call, we know that the borrower is set up for their closing. And that's obviously very, very important to us to make sure that there's no surprises at the table. So there is a very lengthy closing call where we do handle all of that. So I wanted to highlight that. I did miss that on the first go around. So
Yeah, and I think that's a great value add. The last thing that any of us want is a borrower showing up to the table and, oh, I didn't want to pay off this debt, or I thought I was getting this amount of cash back. So, through that call and that conversation, Coop's team is truly ensuring that the borrower understands all the details of the transaction and that there's no surprises when they get in to complete that closing. All right, next slide, please. So we've mentioned multiple times throughout that our goal here is to keep your name and your brand front and center with this borrower. You are working with this borrower already. You may be engaging in other transactions with them. And we want to make sure that throughout the process, they know that the reason that they're here is because you felt that this was a good partnership and we are getting your name back in front of them. A couple examples of where you'll see that. The image on the left is our new home loan portal, where consumers will be able to upload conditions and view status of their loans. We're going to see a demo of that in a moment, but what I wanted to highlight here is you'll see broker information highlighted right on the left-hand side. So your name and company name will be there for them to see every time they log into our consumer portal. Below that, we've got the contact info for our internal processor. So should they need to reach out to, in this case, we've got Shelly listed there. If they needed to reach out to her, they've got her phone number, email, and they can get her right on the phone or shoot a message over. Next item is going to be our conditionally approved email. And as you'll see right in the email here, it does call out the broker's name. We're reaching out from Newrez on behalf of X, and that loan has been conditionally approved by the underwriting team. If you want to go ahead over to the next slide, we've got a couple additional examples. As the borrower is moving through the process, they'll receive a reminder email on tasks to be completed. Tasks are essentially conditions that need to be uploaded. Within that email, you can see down highlighted at the bottom, we are getting your contact info and name right in there as well. So every email that they receive about those reminders, we've got you in there for them to see. And then when they do upload documents into the file, they'll also receive a confirmation email. And you can see right in here as well, we went ahead to make sure and keep your name right in there for them to see. All right, and we can pop over to the next slide. So the tagline that we really wanted to strive towards was being able to take care of this in 15 minutes or so. So we believe that we've really built a process that allows you to come into our portal, create, disclose, and submit that loan to us in about 15 minutes. Full disclosure, a few of those minutes are waiting for the lead to generate and things like that. So your actual action steps are even a shorter amount of time than that 15 minutes labeled there. And if you flip us to the next slide, I'll give you a quick sneak peek into how those screens will look. So this is our new home screen that you will flow into as soon as you make the product selection. So at the time of assigning the product, it's going to drive you now down this path. And as you can see, we've clearly laid out the steps that would be needed. And these are also dynamic as you move through. So as you complete a step, that will become checked off. There's an option to resume progress, which will bring you back to your last completed screen. In this screenshot, you do see the order appraisal tile in there. If an appraisal is required, that tile will show, and you'll be able to go ahead and get that ordered prior to submitting that loan in for underwriting. All right, and we can go ahead and flip one more. So again, just to recoup, go back and take a peek at the loan creation steps. We're going to be importing that 3.4 file. getting that second lien product assigned. We then run the single soft credit pull. You're going to run through the 1003 flow is the same as our 1003 flow now with the enhancements that we've made there, making sure that you can clearly see any fields that need to be completed, gathering all that information so that prior to taking additional steps, you make sure that you really are reducing the opportunity for any data validations or other things in the process. We'll then import the fees and to get that loan disclosed. We'll then show a pre-qual detail screen, which will summarize the details of this loan for you, and then you're ready to get that file submitted into underwriting. We can flip to the next. So I did want to just show a couple quick images of the home loan portal. We'll see those live in a moment, but this is the main screen that they'll come to when they first access the screen. Now I will call out as we watch the demo for here, there is one step that's shown that is not needed. We have since created a custom link that will go to your borrower. So when the borrower receives the welcome email that brings them into the portal, that is going to be specific to them. And they won't need to enter their name, loan number, anything like that. That is their specific link. So when we look at the demo in just a moment, you'll see me entering in some of that information. We have taken care of that since I recorded that video, and you will now see your borrower directly go into the portal with their information already populated and right into their loan. And here you can see the portal on the left-hand side, the main screen. Top image is going to be the loan status. It will show them where their loan is at in the process, and just a quick snapshot of the documents that are still outstanding on this file.
And the one thing to note, the screen that he was just on, it has the LO name and information on the bottom left-hand side.
I'll now show you the process of creating a closed-end second loan in Blueprint and submitting that loan to underwriting. Import your 3.4 and click Next to create the loan. Enter the application date to proceed. You'll now select Product and Pricing to select and assign your closed-end second product. Choosing the CES loan will make several of the selections for you. Look for any open fields and enter the correct information. Base loan amount is the amount of the new loan. Line amount is the amount of the borrower's first lien loan. Any missed fields will be populated on the right-hand side, and clicking on the link will take you to that field. It will also be outlined in red. Click to assign the product. After closing Loan Advisor, you'll be brought back into the new second lien flow. This is a quick and easy way for you to move through these steps and get your loan submitted into underwriting. The first step we'll take is to pull a soft credit report. Information will be pre-filled. Select that the borrower acknowledges the credit report pull and submit for the report. You'll now see we've received a successful report and we've moved to the Evaluate 1003 screen. Look for any highlighted fields and complete with the appropriate information. After completing any missing fields and achieving green check marks in all sections, click Save and Continue to save your changes, and then we'll click Continue to move into the loan estimate. We'll now run the fee quote to import the fees. Fees will automatically import and title fees will be tied to the national provider selected. Fees are read-only. On the taxes and insurance screen, you'll see that your property taxes have already been imported. You will want to add in information regarding the borrower's homeowner's insurance. Select Add Insurance and enter all the details. No need to collect any prepaids. After confirming your information, click Save and Continue to move to the Preview LE screen. Fees will be shown here, and cash to close shows in the bottom right. In this case, positive number indicates cash back to the borrower. At this time, we'll go ahead and lock the loan prior to generating the disclosures. Click to verify the address for your lock. Click Continue with Lock, and you'll now see pricing. Select the final rate you'd like to choose, and click Lock My Loan. We can now close Loan Advisor and move back to Blueprint. On the additional disclosure screen, you'll be able to include a mortgage broker fee agreement and an anti-steering disclosure. Rates will pre-populate based on Newrez pricing information for your anti-steering. Feel free to make any changes based on other lender information. Click the confirmation box and save and continue. Like our other products, you have the option to add additional documents if you'd like to include them. Verify the borrower's email address. Answer the disclosure question. Once disclosures have generated, you may view those disclosures or send them out to the borrower. Once you're ready to send, click on the send button and the borrower will receive those via email in just a moment. After your disclosures are sent, you'll be routed to the pre-qualification screen. Here you can review details of your loan and share them with the borrower. Confirm pre-qualification to accept the pre-qual and move forward. Complete the required fields on the submission screen. On the submission screen, upload documents to the listed conditions. When you've uploaded your documents, you'll be able to submit your loan. If you have items that are not on this list that you'd like to include for our underwriter, you can use the bulk option at the bottom of the screen to upload an additional file or multiple files. We can now go ahead and upload a first document here. And then we'll submit this loan to underwriting. Congratulations, your loan's been submitted. It'll now be reviewed by our registration team and then moved over into underwriting. The underwriter will reach out with a decision quickly after submission. All right, everyone, so there's a quick sneak peek into the system there. I did want to mention we have a Q&A down at the bottom. So if you have any questions as we're going through, please feel free to drop a question into the Q&A and we'll hit those as quickly as we can for you. Loan is approved, they'll receive a link to our home loan portal. Here they'll be able to see status on their loan and upload conditions. On a first visit to the site, a borrower will want to click to sign in and create an account. They'll enter their information. and select a password. They'll then be able to sign into their account. And set up their multi-factor authentication. After logging in, the borrower will want to link their loan to their profile. The borrower will now see the home page with their current loan application. We've made sure to keep your information front and center for the borrower and contact information for the processor. By viewing tasks, they'll be able to see any outstanding items that need to be uploaded for this loan. A borrower can upload directly to each condition and that document will be pushed to our internal team to review. The borrower can also review loan status and see their current stage, along with any steps to come, finishing with the closing of this loan. All right, and those are our two demos there. In that second video, as I referenced earlier, a lot of the portion in the beginning there is automated now for the borrower, so that should cut that entire process at least in half there and just make things nice and easy for them to get into that site. So I see a lot of questions coming into the chat. That's great. I see Tony's trying to tackle a lot of those as quickly as he can. Tony, Coop, anything else that we wanted to touch on today?
Yeah, I mean, I can touch on a few additional things, some benefits, value props. One of the things is from a lower borrower's cost perspective, there will be no title insurance. So the way that the process is going to go is that our title partner is going to run a search from the date of when the first mortgage was recorded to current, and there's not going to be any title insurance, and that will certainly speed up things as well. And then additionally, you have the product specific. If it qualifies, you have the AVM component. So, that would fall under the header of lower borrower costs. We talked earlier about how, we're going to handle the processing and the dedicated lender processing team, lower overhead, no need to staff for seconds. And then, I want to continue to talk about this because it's very important to all of us here at Newrez. Your brand stays front and center. We merely operate behind the scenes, and the borrower experience is delivered on your behalf. And we feel strongly that this is going to create repeat and referral business. A smooth, professional second lien experience. Borrowers are always going to remember you, and that's important to us.
Now we look forward to doing a lot of this business. We are set up to be able to handle, a quick ramp up of flow here for second mortgages. And the reason why we think everybody will be excited to do that is because, as we stated throughout the process, this is to make it as easy and as fast as possible for you to take care of your clients and still maintain your relationships with the realtors and everything else that you have to do from a day-to-day basis. All right, that wraps it up. Appreciate everybody joining today, and we look forward to doing a lot of second mortgages with you. Have a great day, everybody.